Hey, what's going on, y'all? So basically, I just wanted to come and just make another video in the series and discuss some of the strategies that R. Kelly can use to deal with Azreal Clary. As I said early in the video series, she really has to be dealt with. And when I say dealt with, obviously, I mean from a legal standpoint and not from any other standpoint. I myself, I'm nonviolent. I don't believe in violence. And this is really a big problem. And as you all know, she's basically come out and she's making ridiculous comments and she's making ridiculous allegations. I'm not even going to repeat the disgusting, vile things that she's alleging that she was forced to do, which, in my opinion, there's no way on God's green earth anyone can force you to do what she's alleging that she was forced to do. And I think that some of the legal strategies that I came up with earlier, which is to basically try to sue Azreal Clary, that actually probably won't even work anymore. I think that strategy would probably embolden her and just make her fight all the more. I think that one of the best legal strategies possible is to actually serve her with a court summons and basically involve her in the litigation if she's not already involved, right? It's hard to think that she's already involved in a litigation, because if she were, she wouldn't be able to come out and start doing these interviews, making these ridiculous allegations, right? And if that's the case, I think what they need to do to basically stop her is to get her into the Illinois federal court immediately and say, hey, look what she's doing. She's constantly out in the public eye and she's constantly spewing out these false allegations. And those allegations are going to affect this trial. I think that's one of the best strategies at this point. Now, another non legal strategy is that what he could possibly do, if he has any money left whatsoever, what he could possibly do is that he can just simply offer her some of that money to basically try to keep her quiet. I know it probably sounds ridiculous to pay somebody, because it's kind of an extortion tactic or blackmail tactic, whereby if you don't pay this person is going to continue to go out in the public and try to ruin your reputation. But honestly, I think something has to be done, because what she's doing is that she's basically keeping negative information or a negative image of this man in the headlines, and and she's timing it, or it's being timed. I'm not even sure if she's really the mastermind behind all this. It could One of the schools of thought is that she's just doing what she does just to make as much money as she can while this thing is still hot. Another school of thought is that there are people behind her who are trying to influence and control this trial, and they're paying her to do this. So she's like, well, hey, I'm getting paid from these guys or these people who are paying me to destroy him, and then I'm also getting paid for these interviews and these documentaries, right? So everyone knows she's actually come out and she's got this documentary. So everybody knows that she has a documentary, or she's in a documentary, where she is going to talk about the allegations where she was forced to do disgusting things, or disgusting and hurtful things were done to her. Now, to be honest with you, I don't know if any of the things that she's saying is true, and I can't say one way or the other. Leave your questions, comments below. Let me know if you think any of this stuff is true, or if there's degrees to truth and she's just basically blowing this out of proportion. Let me know what you think. So essentially, she really just has to be dealt with. And again, I think just having her be dragged into court, into the federal court, and having a gag order, or a gag order issued to her to have it to stop, or probably one of the most practical ways of dealing with her is just simply to pay her off. I know you probably thinking this is crazy. Why would you pay somebody who's blackmailing you? Why would you pay somebody who's essentially extorting you? And yeah, I agree. I know it sounds crazy, but it's the most practical thing to do. If any money is left and if there's any money available, I would do it. If I was in that situation, I would do it. Call me weak, call me stupid, call me goofy, call me whatever you want. But basically, what I believe is happening is that this negative information is being timed. They're being released on a time basis so that it sinks in or is synchronized with the trial dates. Now, everyone knows that he was basically supposed to go to court in April. That basically didn't happen, but yet we have this negative information that comes out where she announces that she's in the documentary or she has a documentary where she's going to talk about this disgusting act that she was forced to do. To me, that's calculating. That's calculating. And it's a devastating effect, even though he didn't go to trial, because you're keeping negative information in the media, right? So there's two schools of thoughts on this. In my mind, she's either doing this because she's trying to get as much money as she can off of this negative situation while she can, or there's there's someone paying her to basically release this information, right? There's someone paying her to release this information, and they are scheduling this so that it is synchronized with trial dates, right? So to me, the most practical way to deal with this, and it could even be wrong. I mean, I don't know. It's just to say, well, look, how much are they paying you? I'll pay you more. Am I wrong? Would you pay off someone who is basically doing this to you? If you thought they were doing this to you, you think that money is going to get them to stop, would you pay them off? Leave your questions and comments below. But in my mind, there's really only two ways to deal with her now. The first way is to basically get her into court as quickly as possible and get a gag order against her. I don't believe at this point that she's involved in the original litigation. And the reason I say that is because, not the original litigation, but the federal court litigation. I don't think she's involved in that, because if she was involved, then I would imagine the gag order would already apply to her and she wouldn't be able to come out and start, saying these things, unless the federal government is actually allowing her, or if they're the driving force behind this. And they probably wouldn't tell her to do this, but they would probably say something like, well, yeah, you can go out and you can talk about your story to the world, and you have freedom of speech and you can say, whatever you want to say. Maybe someone in the federal government is probably telling her things like that, right? But I actually think that, and that's only if she's actually involved in it, in the original litigation or in the federal court litigation. I don't think she is, because the gag order would apply. I really think she's either just trying to get as much money as she can, or someone is actually paying her and kind of like guiding her efforts to release this information, right? So with that said, there's only two ways to deal with her: the gag order or pay her off. Let me know what you think. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Are there better options? Are there any options out there that you can think of to basically deal with her in a way that, basically wouldn't get you into more trouble than you're already in? Let me know. Leave your questions and comments below.